Bizak, Getcha Popcorn Ready podcast. This is your host, Hatch, with my boy.
Yep. I am in the building. We are all in the building.
Hey.
This work for real. Like, what is this?
Man, get your popcorn ready. You see this right here? This popcorn is
I done had to butter the popcorn today. You know what I'm saying?
I can't believe I'm here. Who been eating my popcorn already? This shit low?
Me? I've been eating everything. You know what I mean? I'm the
He
popcorn
eat everything,
guy.
dog.
Yeah,
He eat everything. Marcellus Wiley's in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
AKA that dude.
That dude. What's up, man? Thanks for coming back, brother.
Man, it's so good to see y'all. I've been knowing y'all forever. This feels so weird because, like, we're in some different dimension right now doing these podcasts, vodcasts. But I remember you.
Yeah.
Didn't look like that. Didn't look like that. Same old dudes, man. It's so good to see y'all.
Hey,
It's
You too,
weird
fam, you
because
too.
you're usually working sometime around this time.
That part.
You know
No,
what I
not
mean?
Yeah.
sometime, every day.
Yeah.
Hey,
Why aren't you working right now? You be with Fox right about now.
Yeah,
So, I
it's
mean,
funny.
did you get tired of Fox? What happened over there? They didn't pay you? What's going on?
Oh, man, it started off, I give y'all the real. First of all, I just saw him yesterday. Still want to do some stuff
Absolutely.
together, both of us.
Okay.
Still in the family. Y'all don't know this about me, but I'm a big-ass nerd, dog. Like, that dude fools people. Like, that's how I got
That's
through.
your alter ego.
Yeah. And shit, that was my escape ego, too, to get through the hood. Like,
Word,
I had to put that armor on. I was always the MVP, but also like the valedictorian. I was always this nerd. So, long story short, I kept that balancing act going forever. And, you know, you make the calculation. I'm going to ride this balance and have a high safety net of academics, but, you know, ball going to take me where I got to go faster than anything else, right? So I'm doing that my whole life, all of a sudden go to Columbia. Now, people don't catch this, but I'm going to Columbia. It ain't necessarily to go pro. It's like, if I go pro, then even better. But I'm trying to do something else.
That's an Ivy League school, right?
Yeah, that part.
Ivy League.
Yeah.
Big time.
You know what I
Big
mean?
time academics.
It's the NFL of the minds, as we say.
Okay.
Whatever that is. But to fast forward, I've always had this urge. I wanted to be a school teacher, a dean, or a counselor, or maybe an NFL player. Right? So,
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, it came to fruition. I became a baller, kept getting bigger, faster, stronger, played in the league a decade. But I couldn't suppress that appetite, that hunger, that voice that always wanted me to meet the people, teach the people, meet people at forks in the road in their life and help them go right, not left. So I'm doing sports broadcasting before it was the fad.
True.
I'm doing this in 97. I had a show in Buffalo. I'm doing this at 2002, 2003 NFL Network just comes out, launches. I'm doing correspondent work. I'm an active player with a suit on saying, hey, LT, what happened in the playoffs? You know what I mean? Real stuff. People don't know this because there wasn't no Instagram. So everybody like it's lost.
If you didn't watch it at the moment, you couldn't catch it. Right?
Yeah, so this is 20 plus years of doing this. And I've noticed the shift to more podcasts, vodcasts, authenticity. I was starting to get jealous. I'm sitting there at this desk talking about, hey, is Dak Prescott going to play well this year? The Cowboys going to win the East. And meanwhile, I'm watching a cat that I'm a fan of on the internet. Man, them motherfuckers suck. And I'm like, yo, that's a good point.
Right.
All I'm saying is whatever it was starting to get distant between what I was doing and what they were doing. And I was like, all right, I keep notice of that. Now, all this stuff is starting to boil up in me. Then the pandemic hit. Then Whitlock and I, we do a show together. He leaves. Nick Khan, my agent, super agent, he leaves. And so, like, I'm like, damn, I'm feeling kind of rudderless out here, you know? But I'm still doing something that's fun, that I love, and they were paying. So I was like, yo, I'm going to do it.
Right.
But I was starting to atrophy in terms of that muscle that I know that I have. So contract time comes up. First thing they say is like, yo, we going to take the show in a different direction. I was like, what's that direction? And it sounded very similar to what I just left in Sports Nation. And if y'all remember Sports Nation, it was fun, but it was light. It was topical. We go around in a circle real fast, say some stuff,
To
and
your
then move
point,
on.
yeah, I had auditioned and I had basically signed on to do Sports Nation when y'all was about to, I guess, re-up or whatever the case may be, and then it kind of just fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
So I never really got a chance to be on there. I had gone on there as a guest,
Right.
but I was coming on to feel like one of the spots.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, to your point, it fell by the wayside.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I left and I felt that they weren't fully supportive of it, but they were like, if you come back, we're going to do it. We're going to keep it rolling.
Right.
I left and they took the show off. So I was like, My spidey sense was right.
Yep,
It was a wrap. So I'm at Fox, and then all these changes are occurring, and then, me and Acho doing our thing. And then they were like, lighter. When I heard that word lighter.
Like, what does that mean?
I know what it means.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I'm going where I've been. And that was the first thing that kind of made me step back, withdraw. In the talks, in the conversation, in the negotiation. I felt the love from them. They offered me another show. They offered me First Things First. They offered me all these opportunities. Nothing but love for Fox then and still. And nothing but love for what I was doing. But I want to do something different, man. I'm trying to get my Tony Robbins on, my Deepak Chopra on. I'm trying to go deeper into what we all know, but we don't always show. Every play, there's an emotional state, there's emotional content, there's how you got to perform, there's all the things leading up to that moment of truth that we just don't even discuss anymore. We just talk about, did he fumble? Did he score? Who won?
Moment. We talk about the actual moment.
I got some things really brewing that are really exciting, but I'm old school. I don't talk about shit till it's out. So
Right.
It's coming out, though. It'll be a Merry Christmas.
So it sounds like you're growing.
You say I'm getting fat? Here and here. Right.
Right, but
I am, man. I'm growing, but I'm also reminding myself of who I am and what I got into. Because you can do this forever, and it's a beautiful ride.
Right.
Or you could say, I got a journey, and I got a map, and right now I'm a little off course. And I hate it when I got to a point where I became the guy I ain't like because I see that guy on somebody else's show. The guy who loves the game but starts to hate the players. The guy who loves the game but all of a sudden starts to cut people down. And it's just because it's the dynamic of a show. It's not like they forcing us to say anything. It's just you get up there and you think, well, he's better than him. So then he says, no, he better than him. Next thing you know, y'all done beefed out to where one is good and one is not good, where it's like, no, I ain't say that. They both great, but which one is greater? So I kind of want to get out of that absolute binary sense of discussing something I love so much. And I got kids, man. Them kids will teach you a different way of looking at the same thing.
Right.
And being a coach, I coach. And I look at parents who drop their sorry-ass kids off every single practice.
Not sorry.
No, they're sorry. They're sorry. Most kids are sorry. Let's keep it. That's why I got to come to this. I got to say the truth. I'm a coach. I don't tell him he's sorry.
Right.
I don't tell his parents either unless she's trying to, if she flexes, I got to let her know he's sorry. That's why he ain't playing. But the real of it is, they're dedicated. They're committed. They want their kids to get whatever talent they have out. And that's my job, to get it out. However, here's the thing. I'm sitting up here, fluffy job, big time, undercutting the same thing that they will give their left leg for, which is little Johnny, little man, to make it to that level. But when he gets to that level, then I'm going to sit there and undermine a lot of his efforts. And I just feel right about that when I know I got a greater passion for people in life.
So is that how the new podcast, that's the process of thinking behind it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got to take baby steps. So I was like, hold on. And my wife was like, hell no, you ain't going to just give away all that money. Like, you better stay with one of them jobs. So I work with iHeart, Dan Patrick, and I'm still talking sports through that lens. But the show is called More to It. And basically, like it says, every single play, every single moment, everything about what we did and what we do, there's more to it than we're displaying. So I want to go to those deeper layers, and that's the first step to where ultimately I'm going to be talking about us, life, people participating in what they're doing.
Whether it's heavy, it's the truth. And I think that's where you're speaking on, like, a lot of people, they don't want to hear the truth.
Right. And I grew up where no matter what you want, this is what you get.
Let me ask both of you guys a real question, right? Does lighter mean whiter?
Damn, you went there. No, not to me.
I mean, because again, from your perspective.
Let me get your shades, T.O. I didn't know you meant that.
Because from your perspective, like, what do you...
No, because in a sense, you would think, without actually saying what it is, you leave it up for interpretation or speculation when you say, okay,
lighter.
I
smell y'all.
You get what I'm saying?
I do smell you.
So that's what he's trying to kind of, again, getting you to clarify what that means. Because in certain instances, it may mean that. And in certain instances,
no,
it
I'm
may
talking
not.
about like specifically for, what your perspective is of it. Because again, we all know, we see people on ESPN, Fox, whatever it may be, right? And there's going to be a certain fan base that says, well, he's given his perspective, which is fine. But we also looked at Whitlock and says, oh, well, he's given a white person's perspective. Like, no, he's not. He's a black dude. How can he give a white person's perspective?
Right.
Right,
So
but he's adopting.
to some people,
but he
they're
could be
saying
adopting.
he should be lighter.
Well, see, now you get,
You see what I'm
there's
saying?
no adopting. If you
Or adapting.
There's no adapting. See, that means you've already contained what you think a black voice or experience looks like.
Okay,
You're guilty of saying there's a box. It may be wide, but
Right.
there's a box. Because as soon as I see you go over there, you're out the box. You're out of bounds.
Right,
And that,
right,
first
right,
of all, I always say to anybody, I don't even get into the race conversations unless it's to clarify.
Right.
Because I don't like to do that. Because if I grew up where if you were corny, you were white. Whiter at least, like you're adapting. If I like to skateboard growing up, cats were looking at me like, dog, why you acting white? Like they were doing that with the proper English, being the nerd, this valedictorian. Like all those things had connotations to like I left my borders, like I left where I'm supposed to be.
I'm a black dude on a skateboard.
No,
That's
I'm
all
a black dude on a skateboard. I'm a black. I liked rock and roll growing up. In the '80s, my neighbors used to blast it. I had my rap blasting. He had his rock and roll blasting. Next thing y'all know, Run DMC, Van Halen. We rapping, we rocking together. You going over there?
Like, no.
Or he's coming over here. I'm like, why is he blacker? Because he like Run DMC too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So clarify when they told you lighter, what did that mean to you?
Oh, I know what it meant.
So that's what he's asking.
Lighter is
No, it's like your perspective.
Right, but you said you asking both of us.
he
asked
asked
both.
you, T.O., but here you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah.
Here's lighter. You watch a show in 1 hour, 4 cowboy topics. LeBron, whatever he did last night, and then just throw in something for throw-in.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. And it's the same topics. And basically, let's keep it in the same scope. Who will win the NFC East? Is McCarthy the right coach?
Right.
Like, it's not that they were talking about the talent. They weren't even talking about the narratives. They were talking about, we know what the hits are. They playing Rob Bass, It Takes Two every 10 minutes on the radio. And it became a point, you're like, damn, I like the song, but I mean,
Well, you're killing it for
we're
me.
killing it. So as I watch and consume major sports media, everyone's playing the hits, but I'm a DJ. And one thing I know from my DJing experience is that you don't just play the hits. You play things that people haven't found out about yet, discovery. You also play songs that integrate the hits, like big song. What was that song? Yo, go to the DJ booth. Yo, man, who what?
Yeah, who was that? Yeah.
Right, like, so I'm like, there are too many songs we're not playing. And it's not up to me. I don't have this ego where I'm a buck, talk trash, and be like, yo, I don't like this. I'm gonna be like this. All right, I got enough talent. I got enough belief in me. I know what I want to do.
Yep.
Let me go do it.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Because the perspective is, again, we're watching ESPN, the Boston Celtics coach.
Oh, yeah.
That let's say they trashed every single day for 2-3 weeks, right? Then the Brett Favre thing didn't come out every single day. And most people are like, why are you not talking about this white tragedy, but you're just highlighting this black tragedy? And in media, is like, to me, that comes from a higher head. It comes from the producer saying, you have to talk about this.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of what I was, that's what that means. Because people get stuck saying, I really don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because the producers are saying talk about it.
Yeah, there's 2 levels to that, man.
Right.
I would say one level is like the rundown, what we, the format, you guys know, is a lot of times it gets based on relationships when it's scandal. So maybe we're not talking about Brett Favre because, someone in this building, whether it's one of the hosts,
is a fan
or a friend. I saw it happen with Deshaun Watson. We ain't gonna talk about Deshaun Watson, cats, because that's the homies, or that's the homie's homie. I'm like, no, I talk about anybody.
Right.
And then if you're really my friend, you're gonna understand where I'm coming
Where I'm
from.
coming from anyway.
Anyway, so there's relationships in the rundown that I started to get a little perturbed by. I'm like, dog, we taking care of him and not taking care of him. Talk it all or don't talk it at all.
Right.
That was one level. And the second level is, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I have grown to a point where I got tired of always having to relate with the conversation and with the co-host, because those sometimes take you in two different places.
They don't mix all the time.
T.O., you and I, we talking about something. I disagree. And then there's a point in my head, I'm like, now, do I pull my guns out and really disagree? Or do we just move on for convenience and for conversation?
Right.
One, I didn't get my whole point out, because I got more. I got the gun. But I ain't going to do that to my boy. I ain't going to kill my boy. I learned this in relationship counseling. They said this about my wife and I in our relationship. It said, never argue to win, because then you're going to be married to a loser. And I was like, damn. That's the same thing with us. Like, I can't argue you to the point where I'm winning all the time, because now I'm doing a show with a loser.
Right, I'm smashing you. And if I smash you over and over again, you don't got nothing.
So we really throwing softballs fast as we can, but we ain't playing hardball like we can. That's why I started getting jealous. I saw cats on the net playing hardball, and I was like, that's the way I grew up playing. I've gotten far away from that moment.
Wow, that's crazy. Again, talking about relationship, like the counselor, to take that to a real place.
Yeah.
Is take that to your job is total. Probably didn't expect that, obviously, right?
No.
But to do that, again, as a media, I guess as we are, it's like...
Yeah, we are.
You're, right.
We like to say it.
Right? I still don't believe it.
Yeah, we're part of the media.
But again, the perspective is like, do we have to be right in that instance, in that situation? We go talk, we go argue.
Right.
Like, and again, I'm to the point, I really don't care about being right. I'm gonna say what I have to say, but I don't care. I don't have to win anymore.
Yeah.
And I think for so many years, I had to win that conversation.
Yeah, I'm built like you in a lot of respects. I never wanted to be right or wrong, but I looked and realized that that's what was getting rewarded. And that's what culture is.
And they pick a winner and a loser.
Yes. Ben Horowitz talks about this, famous VC, Columbia grad, my dog. He always talks about culture is what's rewarded. So anywhere you go, the culture is not what they say. It's not what they write on the wall and desire and discipline. It's whatever is getting rewarded. Cats pick it up, and cats start doing it. So now cats are arguing just to be right. I don't do that, and I didn't do that. And then in part, that's what kept me a step or two below where I should have been, I felt. Because I wasn't trying to be right.
Right.
And I certainly wasn't wrong. What I wanted to always do is show people what worked. And I always believed that your way could work too. Because there's so many different ways up the mountain, so many different ways to do anything,
Like
play
you said,
ball.
it's always, number of ways to skin a cat.
Yeah.
Many ways.
Yeah, and I got a little fatigued that, okay, this game is rewarding rights and wrongs, even though you could be right today and wrong tomorrow. And they still giving props for that. And I was like, I don't want to do that, because I don't think the listener, the viewer is educated, and I don't think that's authentic. We know damn well, we know guys who weren't always committed, and they balled out. And then we knew dudes who were first in, last out, and was sorry as hell. And I was like, when we gonna talk about that? Like, everybody got
Let's
these...
talk about that.
These
talk
gimmicks.
about that.
And putting them on that pedestal like they've done no wrong.
Yeah.
Just to some of those things you mentioned, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And those players have been put at the forefront, and media, like I said, maybe friends in high places put them in a higher regard than somebody like me, where like I know I've put in the work. I've seen what I've done. I know what these guys do on an everyday basis, but they're not, like I said, we're not talking about what they're not doing.
Yeah, you can get protected. Like, the transparency, in all due respect, has been lost. It's not gone, it's just lost. It doesn't know where to find itself. Every now and then it'll pop up on some story where there's uniformity and everybody's like, yeah, we're all in agreement, so let's all tell the truth now. But then a lot of stories, it's just like a likability comes into play. So you can be a player that is likable, and we gonna forget a few of your miscues because we like you. And that's human behavior. That's obviously what we do. But when it becomes an industry, that's when it's like, do you fight that machine, or do you go and be the man you are and just project from wherever you go? Okay. And that's where I want to go. I don't want to sound like I'm mad at what they're doing.
Right, because you're not.
I just saw it move, and I said, there are options out there. Let me move to some of those options.
Right. And again, you have the leverage, though, to move how you want to move.
Right, because you have those options, and not a lot of people have those
your
options.
Yeah, the stripes. I mean, look, it's like high school. You go on your recruiting trips, and you don't even know Cat. You look at that Letterman jacket like, oh, he's somebody somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
You got all the buttons.
You see the buttons, right? The stripes in the military. You see the stripes.
Already,
Like,
yeah.
I've been doing it for so long, and I've worked with so many greats that you're not going to tell me that I'm not thinking the right way or feeling what I'm feeling. All you're going to say is, well, this opportunity is here. Do you want to fit in there? And I finally got to a point where I was like, not as advertised. You know, before it was, and Whitlock sold me on the show that we were doing, and I loved it because we were going deeper. No matter how you feel about Whitlock, but at the same time, that's my beauty. That's my beauty. I don't give a damn where you coming from.
Right.
We're gonna meet in the middle, and we're gonna respectfully disagree, and then you're gonna go back because there's so many ways up that mountain.
Yeah. So again, from your perspective, again, just it has to be one or two, right? Is pro sports honest or dishonest? In your perspective of pro sports, like the whole realm, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, is it an honest industry or is it a dishonest industry?
From what perspective are we saying? You said the entire realm. You meant
Like pro sports, from your perspective of the media.
It's tough because I think the individuals are being honest. I think they have to put their honesty through a filter, and that filter is where you start to say maybe it's dishonest. We all know the people.
Right.
So we're really behind the veil.
Right.
This is the worst thing. This is a better answer for it. We got a segment. We do the segment. Segment done. Who you're working with says, so what you really feel. Now, I'm looking at him like, dog, I just said it.
I just said it. Right. You didn't hear me? We was chopping it up.
Yeah.
I said it. Didn't you say it?
Yeah. And that is telling to me like, oh, you holding back.
Yes.
Now, so we talked for 2 minutes before commercials are over, and I'm like, oh, that's what you should have said that. He's like, nah, but, and then we go back on and we do it again. And I'm sitting there like, hey, man, like,
What is here?
You pulling punches? What we doing?
it's to serve a greater interest. And this is why I didn't win as many times as I should have won. Okay. It's because incentives shape behavior. So you're incentivized in the game right now to say the winning argument, to say the narrative, to say what the chorus is singing, right? And that gets you props, even though you disagree. And I got too many examples where I'm like, dog, just say that shit. Like, nobody give a damn, but they do give a damn. But I don't give a damn. And so I got to go somewhere where it's like, man, I'm not just going to fluff y'all to get through a commercial to hope y'all retweet and like it because I didn't grow up like that. I don't even digest sports like that. So I think it's coming from an honest place, but because, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, you know what I mean? Cats is kind of weaving now just to make sure that they pop.
Right. No, again, is that part, do you think it's more social media now? Because the reason behind it is social media, because again, they don't want to be seen like that on social media? Or do you think it's because of the boss at the network? Like which one are they, which God are they serving, if you will?
Man, beautiful question. Because you don't get the boss's response too often.
Right.
Like, that's an almost unhealthy relationship. Like, dog, if you ain't running this company, you on my Instagram or you on in the studio just listen to my C Block take. Like, I don't trust the company now. Like, who running the company, right? Run the company, I talk this shit, we figure it out later, right?
Okay.
So you don't really get, like, directive from the boss. What you get is direction or where we gonna go, what we gonna talk about, and the rest is on you. But what you also deal with is the water. The water is social media. That's what floats your boat or that's what drowns your ship. You know what I mean? To people who are caught up in social media. I'm thankfully not one of those guys just because I grew up without it. So I have a healthy attachment to like personal relationships and real people, not just a mob of people saying one thing or the other. So you say things, and I think what's happening in general is cats are saying things to check for response, but not speaking from reality. I speak from reality, and then I'll be like, oh, they ain't like that? Oh, okay, well, they ain't gonna like this then, because it's coming right behind
You keep it, and you're gonna keep it real too at the same time.
I will. Whatever that is, I do. Like, and I hate sometimes coming up there sounding like, you know, I'm Chuck D, like, keep it real. I just tell you how I really feel.
Right.
And then if you catch me with 5 drinks in me, you're gonna hear the same thing. And if you catch me doing commercial break, you're gonna hear the same thing. That's all I wanted out of the game, and I realized that not only had the game shifted from that, but it had gotten worse in that respect.
So they come to you like, okay, we're going in a different direction. Just say these other opportunities that you're entering in right now are not available. do you stay still or do you leave still and create something of your own, which is what I think you're doing?
Look, I mean, I'm a co-founder, 2 entities. I'm a partner in the third, all media related. Like it made me look at me and say, what you want to do. You've been doing what is expected of you. You've been doing what you like to do, but what do you love to do? Because if you out here balling and killing it, when you're comfortable, imagine what you're going to do if you're challenged. And I had lost the challenge. Like, dog, I can talk, dog. I know, you know what I mean? I hate when cats get, that's what I do. You catch football. You catch football. Like, I hate when cats get that fake humility, like, oh, I mean, you know, I'm trying. I ain't trying. I can talk.
I'm doing
Right,
it.
I can talk. But talk about what is the conversation. And we start talking about things where I'm like, I got a 7-year-old son who just looks at me and swears by me I'm his superhero. And I was like, am I going to leave him a legacy and lesson that's based on I'm just talking about other players and what they doing, how good they are, bad they are? Or am I really going to meet the masses and try to help and educate and drop these jewels and gems off from all the experiences I've been through, good and bad? Because I wasn't as good as you in football. And I don't think I was as good as you in football, but I got to look at the record. Me and you closer. But
You were better than
I got him?
Yo,
Pro Bowl
you got
ever?
him.
All pro?
No,
Okay, I got you better. But you know, this is a celebrity. He was a celebrity. He was a celeb player.
In his own right. He's still a celebrity.
See, he a celebrity. See what I'm saying? Like, you go out with Hatchet, be prepared. Like, why are these cameras around? So the thing is, we all got our lanes. And for me, I want to make sure my son gets to see the full scope of his daddy's lane. And right now, he's seeing daddy as a football player. You should hear these kids come back from school. Your daddy was amazing. I was like, he was all right. But the kids don't know. Right. Or they see me from billboards on TV and stuff. And I was like, y'all don't understand. Daddy navigated out of this hood. Daddy navigated to this place. Like, he loves his basement. He loves his home. I was like, you don't really know fully how we got here. And I haven't shown the world fully who I am. So that's what it was. But, you know, it's hard to turn away the money. I turned away millions of dollars in this pursuit to get millions of dollars. Right. But I do know this. The highs of doing what I did and the highs of doing what you're doing, the highs are greater here. Y'all want to talk real numbers, real names. Like Pat McAfee. If he's the top dog in podcast, who's the top dog in sports media? Stephen A?
I'd say Stephen
A. Yeah. You can add their salaries together, and you still ain't half of McAfee yet.
You ain't lying.
McAfee people hit me 5 years ago, and I swear I almost threw the phone. They was like, yeah, we want to talk to you about, you know, doing some of the steps and things that Pat McAfee's doing. I was like, what's Pat? Like, at the time, cocky.
Because, Pat McAfee, punter, he ain't, that's what
no name.
First thing we thought about. He wasn't a quarterback,
McAfee?
running back, and I'm like, Pat McAfee? Yeah.
I'm listening, because I am respectful. I'm like, I'm listening. I talk a lot, but I listen more. I was like, Pat McAfee, I was like, you brought to tell me that. He was like, oh, you don't know? I said, no. He said, this is like 5 years ago.
Right.
He's like, Pat McAfee makes more than anybody in sports media. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, me
Did my little homework. I was like, that's
neither. Same thing.
I was like, what? And then this is before the big deals. Highs to highs, it's no conversation. But in terms of stability, security, and pursuit of that high, you walking the high wire trying to be Pat McAfee, where it's a safer existence to try and become Stephen A. And Skip combined to be half of Pat McAfee.
Yeah. Again, it's the big brand. It's the big companies. We want that behind you, or do you want to be out here branched on your own, right? It's the starving artist back in the day, be an independent artist, or do you sign with Def Jam or Sony, right?
Yeah, Master P story, right?
Yeah.
When Master P got offered $1 million for 7 albums by Jimmy Iovine.
Right.
Right before, he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. He said, I don't want to do that.
He said, nah.
And turned that into what, 400 mil?
Right.
But for every Master P that's 400 mil, there's 400 million no Master Ps without even 1 million. So that's the high wire you got to walk, but got to believe in yourself and go swing for the fences.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what other content do you want to create besides, not for yourself, but again, behind the scenes, maybe producing, directing, writing, anything like that within the sports broadcast entertainment industry?
Nope.
Okay, just straight, you just want to talk. Like you say, you want to talk.
Dog, when these formats are up, y'all going to see me integrate and meet people where they are. because I think that's what's gotten lost. The thing that I really hated about who I became in image and not necessarily really in existence is that they thought I was different than them. They thought that I had changed up. They thought I wasn't the same old dude. And we hear that a lot. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've certainly added to who I am.
Yep, that's the
But
thing.
at the core, I'm still me. But you don't get to see that because I'm fat and fluffy behind the desk talking about the same stuff.
Right. On a bigger platform.
On a bigger platform. And then you say something that they don't agree with or that they don't know in existence because they don't have that exposure, immediately you the sellout.
Oh, you done changed up.
Immediately you done changed up. When really, I'm actually telling you, I got your level in what I'm saying, but there's another level.
There's
Levels and layers to this.
Yep.
And so what I want to do is unpeel those layers and meet the people where they are. Because
shed light.
Every
on
day.
whatever it is that you feel like you're disagreeing on, let me explain to you. Let me take you down memory lane.
Let's talk through that instead of saying the name, the topic. Are you with it or you against it? Like, and we get caught up in that binary. Like, you know, that's what sports is, winner or loser. Yeah, but I've won games and didn't do shit. Like, no sacks, no tackles, no assists.
won.
I don't even want to go out that night because I was like, I ain't chip in on this.
Right.
And then there's games where we won it all, and I'm like sitting there like, yeah. All right. I ain't the one. But then I'm the flip, and I'm like, yo, we lost, but yo, where we going tonight? I killed that shit today. Like,
They want to see me tonight. They want to see me.
I know, you know, and so what I want is us to go through those experiences in order, in sequence, and deeper than just who won, who lost, and the loser is a loser.
Right. And really highlighting that. That's not what it's all about.
No, it can't be about that. That's not how I got here. That's not how we got here. I didn't play ball to become that person. And I love that person. And he ain't dead.
But you needed that person.
I needed that person to get to where I got, and now I need to be who I am in fullness. You know, and it's not for everybody. I was talking to my homeboy Mojo. Y'all know Mojo, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yep.
That's my dog. Mojo is my man. He always gives me props, and I love it. He always gives me props because I remember when he wanted to do this, I was like, do this. This is everything.
Right.
And so, you know, he's killing it now over at NFL Network. Love him. And for me, him and I talking, I broke it down. He was like, dog, that is you. They used to call me Reverend in Jacksonville. He was like, dog, that's you. He was like, they don't even know that side of you. And then he was like, but you go ahead and do that shit because I love what I'm doing right now too. And to the point of, I'm at a different place, a different phase, different stage of my development. So now, since I got so many reps doing that, you know, you do the curls so long like this, and then you may look yoked, and then finally you say, man, let me just change it up. You know what I mean? To see how this thing can round out. That's all I'm doing. People thinking like, oh, Marcellus, what happened? And it don't always got to be scandal. It's just, I just flip the wrist. I just time to flip it up.
And again, I think it's the growing point. I really do. We get to our 30s and we say, okay, we figured it out now. Like, Then when you're 35, like, I didn't figure nothing out.
Right.
Then you hit 40, like, shoot, I'm still figuring this thing out. But I think the goal is to always get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think when people, like, you're done getting better, you're done growing, you're like, okay, what are we doing then?
Yeah, and not only is it I've grown, my family has grown, and I just look at life through their lens. I look at, like, I can't give them a worse world in any facet that was worse than when I received it, right? Like, I got to make it better for them. Like, I got this bad deck of cards with some good cards in there as well. You're athletic, you're smart, you're nice, you got a good heart, you love people. You're in Compton. You're going to get shot at a few times. You're going to deal with this bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Good cards, bad cards. I played them right. And now I got my kids, and I'm like, I can't give them a worse world than I inherited. And in so many ways, I'm noticing, like, with censorship, so many ways in terms of, like, they're trying to tell you what to say, tighten that up, and then what to think is next, if not already, tighten that up. I'm a sellout because I don't agree with everything that I guess a black person's supposed to say and do. Like, it just regular stuff that is just like, it's wild. And I'm like, I will go down fighting so that my kids can now be in a different place in terms of their emotional freedom. My boys and my girls to just live their life without those barriers, because I grew up where you had to make the choice too, Crip or Blood. I was
Right,
like, man,
right.
I ain't banging. And then they were like, all right, so now that's a gang. All y'all we gonna pick on.
Yeah.
So we the
The ones
picked
that
on
ain't
gang.
banging, we go.
And now that's what's happening now. You with this side, you're not with this side. Oh no, I'm in the middle. Well, then now you're in the middle. Both sides gonna beat you up.
Of course.
And I'm like, nah, man, not on my watch, not for my kids.
It's to stand for something or fall for anything.
Say it, say it.
We as athletes, or even just black people in general, it's almost like they're almost trying to program you what to think and how to think.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Based on you trying to receive knowledge, research it, and articulate it, and interpret and share information on how we're interpreting it. And that doesn't mean that if we interpret it
Certain
the way that we interpret it, that it's wrong.
Yeah.
We can still, like I said, be educated, and then on if it's right, the information that we're receiving, go back and research more. Okay, maybe this is why I was thinking that way, but that person on the other end, they have to be open-minded to understand too. Like, yo, it's not ironclad
Right.
based on what I'm thinking. You have to be in a situation in a moment of being able to understand. Period. Just understand. Not
Yeah.
necessarily agree or disagree, but have a moment of understanding as to why that person may have interpreted it that way.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact of just speaking on Kyrie Irving and his situation. You know what I mean? He did research or whatever, and he based on and shared some stuff on how he interpreted and how he thought the information was. And then media jumped into it and like, oh, no, you thought this way.
Right.
How you gonna tell me?
How you gonna tell me what I thought based on how I'm? You can write something on this board, and all three of us can interpret it
a different way. Which we will.
Yeah, hopefully we do, actually.
Right.
Like
But
to the nuance, not in
Exactly.
general, not
But-
always top
right.
layer.
But that doesn't mean just because it's all different that all of us are wrong.
Right.
Yeah, we're here. We're there.
You get what
you're
I'm
talking
saying?
about. Oh, I do. The programming, as you speak of, they put it out there. I think a lot of times you make yourself the star of the movie in your head, so you think they put it out there for you.
For you.
They're not putting it out there for you. What's being put out there is for whoever's going to consume it, and then they're going to see where's everybody going to the buffet. Like, so they put out a lot of stuff. They put out every level of stuff. Like, it's amazing to me when I'm watching stuff with my kids, and I'm like, okay, I got a 7-year-old who watches something different than my 3-year-old, my 2-year-old. What am I gonna find that they all can watch? Oh, they got it. They got stuff to meet them in the middle. They got stuff for the 7-year-old only, the 2-year-old only. And that happens in every single respect of our life. What happens is selective perception. You get caught up in thinking they coming at you. So then all of a sudden your defense mechanism kick in and you think, oh, they trying to tell me what to think, trying to tell me what to say.
Right.
There ain't nobody sitting there saying,
I'm going after.
T.O., black people, like they're not doing that. They're saying, here's some content. Let's see who grabs it.
Who eats it up?
Who eats it up? All y'all eating it up? More of that and more of that. And so I think that's part of the cycle. But also part of the cycle is the fact that you got to remember who you are. And I think that's getting lost in social media relationships because we talk in response, we talk in results, we talk in likes, not love. We talk in followers, not leaders.
Yep.
We talk in, I'm going to hit it and come back and see if they feeling it. But we from a school where I just said it, and if you didn't feel it, all right, I don't
Move
even
on.
know because you ain't around me.
Don't even know.
Right, and I think we don't have social space anymore. You don't have time for discovery. Any topic, and I believe any topic should be discussed for education, for layering, for new levels of intelligence, and for us to bring gathered perspectives to make this thing bigger than what it was when we first found it. But we can't do that. But I'm doing that. That's what I'm building right now. See, y'all make me let the cat out the bag.
No, I love it. I love
That's
it.
where I'm going. We're going to go. I'm building a space where everybody come talk that, and we're going to talk. We're going to come from four corners, all coming in disagreement,
nation.
respect, and go back and disagree if you want.
Right, yeah, but I think that's what's needed because again, we're like I said, we've already discussed it. It's all about likes, you know what I mean, popularity.
Man.
It's all about, and that's how the whole cancel culture thing is being involved. It's like, okay, well, who's gonna jump on the bandwagon? I see it too. If it's something that you know truly that you don't really disagree with, but if somebody that has millions of followers, millions of likes, they like it and you disagree with it.
Oh Lord Jesus, the beehive is after you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that part,
And then it's like, okay, just because this person has a notable name and they have so many of these other followers following them and they're in agreement, you're in disagreement, that doesn't make you wrong.
Of course.
But that's how the culture is now.
Yeah, you know what it is? And the culture. Like,
Right, it is exactly. And I'm like, I don't like that where, why don't you just be your own individual? Don't just jump on the bandwagon because your favorite player or somebody that's in the limelight that's doing good in certain other areas, and then all of a sudden this topic rolls up and then they feel to chime in and, he's chiming in. Oh, let me jump on with him so I can feel cool.
Yeah.
Like,
That's bullying.
what is that?
That's bullying.
You know what it is? It always takes leadership to change culture, because what culture is what's getting rewarded. So these cats are kind of getting caught up in their own cycle because they know they're getting rewarded for it, right? And then you're on the outside like, where do I go? Well, I go where the rewards are, right? So you're not going to get someone who's committed to that or someone who's on the fence with that, because that person probably is going to fall towards the rewards. But there is a huge population of people who are authentic. And I'm not inventing authenticity. I'm just now going to be one of the people that would take those hits while I fight through it to say, nah, this is a new breed, new brand of the culture. Because growing up, me just trying to be me, I had to take hits. I'm like, dog, I'm really a nerd, y'all. It's all good. Oh, man, you always standing in the class in front, always answering questions, teacher. And like, I'm like, damn, is that bad? Anything I just say bad? Anything I just did bad? Right. So I almost feel like we're in that place still in terms of just be you, just speak on it, and then let's see where it all goes with the understanding that there's hell to pay to do that.
Right.
But the truth hurts. And it's not just who is landing on, it's also the truth hurts who's speaking it.
Right. Now again, let's go to your coaching, right? You got 7 and 8 year olds, right?
Yeah.
What's the best thing you've learned from those 7 and 8 year olds?
In football, that if you ain't fast, you ain't got a chance.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you already know. If you 7 and fast, you think you in the league already. You got NIL deal.
Right.
If you slow, you
ain't
don't
got
want
a
to even
chance.
practice.
That's the message to 7 and 8 year olds out there.
Get
the
your
parents,
speed up.
Get your speed. Hey, there y'all heard it now.
No, you know what I do, and I can't lie to y'all, dog. I love coaching kids.
The kids, yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna coach somebody who thinks
so
they know better.
what is the cutoff?
High school, I think. About high school, maybe middle school too, but certainly high school. I ain't going past high school. Because if you show up to practice one day thinking you know better than me, that's okay. But if you got the attitude that you ain't gonna work because you think your way is better than mine, oh dog, I ain't committing to that. And then I'm gonna lose it. And then I'm gonna show you that play.
Right, and that's why I asked that, because there are so many kids that, again, they feel like because of the peers, their environment, they feel like they've arrived.
They
Yeah.
know.
You know
They
what I mean?
don't
And you know, and
Yeah.
I know, we've been there. We probably at one point in time have been that kid.
Yeah.
But you know better and you see more for him and that he doesn't see for himself. And I think that's the beauty of coaching that I honestly that I like. When Hatch calls me out to, speak to
Camps,
kids or whatever, that's the element that I like. Because people always ask me, man, why don't you go coach? Why don't you go do this? I mean, part of what you just mentioned too is like some of these kids, they think they're better than who they are and what they are.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get into that.
Yeah.
Man, I don't have to deal with no parents,
Yeah.
none of that stuff. And then on top of it, I like to sleep. I like to sleep.
This guy, sleeping beauty over here.
I like to
by the
sleep.
way,
I ain't gonna make it to practice.
Oh, man, I ain't gonna make it today.
I love
What time's
my
9 o'clock practice? 10?
Yeah, but I love my sleep. But I think
get it.
that's the beauty of it too, man. That's why, you got to have a passion for it. Like, it's so crazy. You pause for a second. You had to collect
your
I
thoughts.
love,
Love it.
like you love it.
Love it. The principles,
Right.
like the
Yes,
building
the
blocks
life,
of it.
yes.
Of it.
Yes.
Like there is. I always tell my kids all the time. I don't care how good you are; it's how well you play.
Yeah.
So don't tell me he's big, fast, strong. Don't tell me you big, fast, strong.
Right.
I don't want to hear it.
Because you've seen examples where you don't really got to be
big,
the
fast,
fastest. You
strong
don't
is
have to
not
be
the best.
strongest.
We already know
to
it's
be
not the best.
successful.
Learn this game.
Right.
Like apply what you are to what your endeavor is. Right,
Right.
now, it's football. Stop telling me he faster than him, so he gonna catch every pass and he
nope.
gonna get the ball and score every time. No, he ain't.
Nope.
Right.
Don't
we
work
gonna
like
we
that.
gonna work on this, the principles of this.
Right, because we've seen examples where, again, sometimes work ethic it trumps talent. Sometimes,
Yes, yes.
99% of the time.
talent. Sometimes
Give me a hard worker
will
any
trump
day.
all of that,
Yeah.
just your effort and you knowing what to do. And I just try to tell my son, like, yeah, learn everything. Yeah, don't tell me like this guy, he came over, he transferred out of the portal, he came from a bigger school, and
Here
that's
we
why
go.
he's playing.
Ain't got
and
nothing
all
to do
that
with
stuff.
you.
Like, yeah, maybe that is, but don't put a crutch on yourself as to why you can't excel and get to where he is. Keep doing the little things. Just work every day. At some point, if you see deficiencies in his game, you're not even the coach. You're evaluating him already.
Say it.
It's gonna play out.
Thank you, brother. Oh man, you done broke it down.
Right.
Like,
It's gonna play out.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build whole kids,
Right.
not these broken adults that are coaching, or these broken like high schoolers and collegiate players who are already so far gone that when you challenge them,
Oh, they can't take it. Can't handle
they
it.
can't take it. The family circle can't take it because I'm here to just tell you what I've seen through experience.
Exactly.
My experience is my expertise.
Right.
That's it. So I'm not the one to say he's going to make it, he's not going to make it.
Right.
All I'm here to do is say whatever he is needs to apply himself to whatever this is.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. Get the most out of yourself. And I noticed that happening so often, but I love the kids because they're so young. They don't know right from wrong,
Right,
good
right.
from bad, up
Right.
and down. They just can't stay focused. Their only issue is attention span.
Yeah.
Oh, dog. In the middle of the play, somebody will stop running and be like, is that a worm? I'm like, you keep running little.
Right, go to the end zone, young fella. Yeah.
And it's the best thing in the world. Nothing is more fulfilling than getting a player that you know is compromised. Like, he got 2 left feet,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And he ain't going to do much for you. And you don't tell him, you don't tell the family anything. You go to work.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to find a way
Find
to
a
get
way.
this boy to
Yeah.
do
You
something.
gonna score?
You're going to
a touchdown
score, you're
this
going to
year.
get a flag,
Yeah, something.
And when he does it,
Right.
and he looks back with the utter shock,
He realizes it.
He can beat King Kong.
man.
Literally.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm with him there.
That's
That's that feeling.
Honest, that's what
That's
happened
awesome.
to me in San Fran. That's what happened to me in
awesome.
San Fran.
When you passed up Jerry, like, what do you mean?
Before
Like,
that,
when? I'm like, when? You know I'm a T.O. fan, so I'm like, when?
Right, I know it was in San Francisco. Like again, like I said, I never like I said played at obviously Power 5 school. I didn't play with the competition that they played on Saturdays at these big schools. You know what I mean? So I didn't.
Same here.
So I didn't get the bump and run. You know what I mean? I didn't get these press corners, this and that and the other. So when I got to the league, and we got to training camp and mini camps, yeah, they started to figure me out. Like,
Yes,
oh,
that part.
he can't get off bump and run. Like free access, red cover 1, 3, all that stuff, 6. I can do that. But then we got into the one-on-ones and they saw
Locked you up.
He can't get off.
Ham sandwiches.
Right, he can't get off. So every day we go to the,
Yeah.
we do the one-on-ones, you do the 7-on-7s. We get in the film room, our meetings after practice, going through everything, especially the one-on-ones.
Davis.
Right, exactly. I'm Davis.
You Davis.
Red
at
dot
that.
on T.O.
Red dot
Yo,
Davis. Yeah.
I'm looking at everybody else run routes, get off the,
Oh, that's so
releases,
good.
this and that and the other.
So
and I'm
good.
getting hemmed up. And then it got to a point, it started happening on a regular. It got to the point where I'm up, he just go to the next one. He don't even look at me.
Ooh.
So I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was gut wrenching
Yeah,
to me.
that hurt.
And then especially I'm seeing guys get cut left and right here and there. I'm like, yo,
getting
that
close.
could be me.
I'm a third rounder.
You're on your
We
way.
ain't close. Third round ain't safe.
No, not at
That
all.
part.
Third round ain't safe, dog.
So my coach, but again, the thing for me is he saw potential. They drafted me off potential. All of us anyway, but at my position, because
Yeah.
Jerry Rice is at my position.
J.J.
J.J.
Stokes.
Stokes.
Oh, yeah.
We had all these, man, Chris Thomas, Nate Singleton,
Yeah.
all these guys. So I'm looking, I'm like, man, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
So my coach pulled me to the side. So, I played basketball. That's what I was known, this and that and the other.
Yeah.
So he pulled me to the side one day. He's like, look, do you call yourself he said, you like to play basketball, right? He said, you call yourself a basketball player? I said, yeah, I play. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He said, but can you play, though? And then I'm like, yes, sir. And then he said, look. He said, when you're in your stance and you're in press coverage, he said, all it is you're playing one-on-one. And you're trying to get to the hoop.
Here we go.
It instantly clicked. I
Bam.
got it.
Bam.
And I'm like, yo, Because I was having trouble. Like, I was doing too much. They was hemming me. I couldn't do. I had no escape. I had a plan A, and that was it. Didn't have no plan B.
C.
Didn't have
Plan
no
A was working at the small school to the fullest. I went to a small school.
So
I know.
At the next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to go to Plan Z sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yo,
you
these
ain't
cats
lying.
know.
Right.
In
you
your
gotta,
bag.
You got to kind of,
More in your
expand
bag.
your portfolio, if you will.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I had to do with my route running, my stand, like everything. So once he told me that, I'm like, yo, so it's literally like I'm playing one-on-one. I'm trying to get, I use like the end zone. That's the hoop.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, I'm like, okay, sometimes with my routes, I don't necessarily have to go all the way to the hoop, but he think I'm going to the hoop.
Right.
That's when I started to learn how to transition to get in and out of my routes. And once that hit and that clicked, bro, it just went through the roof.
Dog, that's the growth we were talking about.
Yeah,
Like, isn't it
that's
crazy?
the
Like, no
growth.
matter what level it is, there's a
Gotta
moment
grow.
where the epiphany occurs, and you're just like, okay, I am going to now alter what I'm doing to get maximum results. But first, you got to be open to that.
Be receptive to it.
Receptive to
and
that.
I was one of those kids, like, yo, I knew we all have confidence about ourselves, but I was
Yeah.
a realist at the same time.
Right.
I was a realist at the time. I knew I was mediocre. I knew I was average.
Say it.
You know what I mean? But I knew I needed to get on that level. So how else am I going to do it? If I don't know how to do it myself, then why not allow this coach, who's my coach, to help me get there?
That's so good.
And I wasn't
them
one of
out.
those guys that felt like I was too good or I had arrived because I went from Chattanooga. Now I'm in the league.
Yeah.
Now it's because that's what a lot of guys think. Oh, I'm in the league. I done made it. I'm
You
that
got to
guy
keep
now.
growing. That's the beginning, the
Yeah, you
reset
gotta keep
of
going
your
up.
growth. And
Right.
full circle, that's what I went through. Like, basically, it was time for me to now get off and beat another coverage because they kept giving me the same stuff.
Right,
And I'm
right.
like, I know how to do that, but I know we're going to play somebody
else.
who going to bring all of my weaknesses
Out. Yeah.
And I got to get my weaknesses stronger.
Right,
And that's
right.
all it is.
Yeah.
And I got to enhance my strengths. And that's what I'm up to now, man. Just
That's
trying to make
what's
sure
up,
I can
man.
echo
And-
those.
Bro,
Let everybody
it-
know where they can find you.
Let me
find
finish
your
my
podcast.
point, man.
He ain't done. He's still in
I
camp.
know, I'm like him. I like to talk. When we on this show, it's a podcast. We like to talk. That's what podcasts are for. We like to talk.
We got to end with him talking.
I
Go
got it.
ahead.
I'm gonna get. But to your point, this is where I knew, and I got nervous that I probably was gonna get cut. But then I had my coach to pull me because I think he saw it.
Yeah.
And he pulled me to the side, pulled me in the
Right.
meeting rooms after watching film. Then he said, "Look," he said, "We know you drafted third round, 89 pick." And he's like, "Look, between me and you," he's like, "Look, you're gonna make it." That gave me a sense of confidence.
Relax.
He said, but prior to that, I knew I was up shit creek when I had the safeties. Tim McDonough, old ass, and Merton Hanks, they started coming up in one-on-ones and want to put hands on
They
me.
want you.
Like they saw
link. He was
because
the weak
they
link
go
in
into their
practice.
meetings. They like, yo, this
Davis.
it's like that girl, everybody hitting, you know what I mean? Everybody getting that work.
What just happened?
I'm just
The girl to everybody?
Right.
You use everybody loosely. Like,
you know what I'm talking
I know,
about.
Marcus.
But yeah,
Don't be
but
everybody.
Don't be everybody. If you are,
Message.
nobody know anyway.
Everybody wanted that action. You know what I mean? They was like, yo, like when I started seeing them
They
come
wanted
out to
that
check me, and I'm
action,
like, yo, they was like, yo, let me go. T.O., I'm going.
Ooh.
Bro, that's not a good feeling.
Ain't nothing worse than you third in line and you see somebody on the other side go,
Yeah,
all right, let me get through that. I'm
Wait
three.
for my man. I'm gonna wait for my man right
right.
here.
So then again, like I said, that competitive mode, like that drive, like that motivated me. Like, yo, no, y'all not finna be playing safety thinking now, because that's why you went to safety if you weren't already there. You was once a
Ooh,
corner.
ooh.
Now you
Ooh.
at say now you
He'll
trying
get
to
his
go.
ammo back. That's why that safety, you slow.
Right, now you trying to go back, come back to where you once were to get some work off me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No.
It's meat here.
Right. I gotta get
That's
my
that girl that everybody knows.
Right, that's why I was. But yeah, man.
get
So
my
that was what
pluses
really
up.
kind of just motivated me to really to become who I became. But again, a lot of people like we.
Who'd
just,
you become, T.O.? Tell him.
I became T.O., bro.
What is that?
T.O., I was Terrell.
Fake.
I was Terrell.
You
I
got
was
9 names, the same name, same spelling, with 9 names. Who is T.O.? Is he the best ever?
I always say Jerry's number 1,
All right.
and I always say I'm number 2.
Okay.
I say that
I'll let
out of
you do
respect.
that.
I've never said because I understood and I saw what he did. I had to, like I said, probably if I had been given the opportunity to play some more years, I would have been flirting at a lot of his records.
ooh.
Been flirting, trust
I
me.
already know that.
Trust me.
Oh.
And the thing, like I said, I know
see that
when
respect,
when the name comes up, it's Jerry, myself, or Randy. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that- I mean,
And
that's
those are
something,
going to be the
yeah.
name 3. And like for me, I'm like, I know Randy. Like His signature things, go deep, go get it. He's gonna march, he's gonna do this and the other. For me, I embody a little bit of what Randy did and Jerry did.
Air route.
I played
Air
over
route.
the middle, this and that and the other. Yeah, Randy would go over the middle occasionally, but he didn't live in there.
Yeah.
I had the body and I understood I could do a little bit of what Randy did over the top, but that was later on in my career.
I'm listening to you, but it sounds like outside of healthy respect and seniority, you think you number one, but you just know I gotta say that.
No.
I think you say I can do what he do and he do, but you know he number one.
But if you roll the tape-
Really? We're doing a podcast. See, you need to go back to the network.
I was
TV.
about to say,
Fake ass.
No, I'm
You
always
ask me if I'm
real.
better than Bruce Smith. Ask me. No. That's the truth. He's number one. I'm number
But I'm always
2001.
anybody.
Say it like that.
But anybody has ever asked me, I've always said I'm number 2. I say I'm top 3. I'm not 3.
But you ain't one.
Right. But I'm a
Man,
realist.
you ain't gonna get no endorsements like this.
I'm a realist.
It's like
I'm a
riding the
realist.
fence.
But all that you got
that's what I
but
be
you got
saying.
to right. But when I got people like you know what I mean, to endorse it, I ain't got to because it's coming from a respectable place.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
nothing's more respected than you.
I'm always gonna put myself in high regard. All you gotta do is roll the tape.
Yeah. We need
Roll
to
the tape.
rewind this tape and start over with you. You need that.
Yeah, I'm that guy, man. Shit. That, get your popcorn ready. I'm that guy. I'm number one. I ain't studying what this dude over here talking about. He talking about Randy better than me because he played with Randy.
You never heard my top 5. Because I've never.
Because you're not in it?
You-
Is
no,
that why
he-
you're not?
I've heard your-
I've never said a top 5 in my life.
I've heard
but
of
he
top
said-
3, and I've never been top 2.
I've never had a top 3.
Yes,
or
you
top
have.
1.
I've heard you say
This ain't gonna last long.
We
Let's go.
discussed.
Okay.
Wiley.
I am an
No.
instigator.
No.
Oh, look at me.
We have
Hey,
discussed
welcome to Getcha
other
Popcorn.
people's top 5.
Okay,
Right?
so what's your top 5 then?
Can he pull it like that
I'm
fast?
not even giving him my
Yeah.
top 5. He don't because he doesn't understand.
What do you mean?
My perspective of
Oh,
my top
God.
5.
What you got? Some
I'm not gonna-
possession
I'm not-
receivers in there?
Because it's more than just a receiver. It's more just catching the ball. It's more than speed. It's more. It's right. Has all of these-
Absolutely. That's why I feel like when it comes to me and Randy,
That's why I've never
I'm
said
better
my
than
top
Randy.
5.
That's why I say I'm better than Randy.
You can
That's
say that.
What do you mean?
I say you can.
Oh,
You know,
right,
he ain't even
exactly.
listening.
No.
Ain't even listening.
Thank you.
Hey y'all.
Thank you. That's what happened.
We
But-
gonna let y'all
but
go
that's
ahead
why
and
I say-
ride
that's
out.
why
But
I
we're gonna
say
keep
I'm
this
better than
argument
Randy.
going. But we gonna see y'all next week on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. We gonna keep going.
Oh, real. You broke it down.
That dude. Get your popcorn ready.